Okay guys, so for 1.6, make sure you have 1.6 on the top, today's date, and we glue in both of these charts. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to break down these numbers by place value. Okay, so there's a 3 in the thousands place. That doesn't just stand for 3, it stands for 3,000. Okay, think about this just as expanded form. There's a 4 in the hundreds, so it's 400. 3 in the tens, so it's 30. 5 in the ones, so it's 5. Okay, so keep on doing that for all of these numbers. 400, 50, and 4, because there's 4 in the ones, 5 in the tens, so there's 5 tens is 50, 4 hundreds is 400, 3 thousands is 3,000. So there's a 4 in the thousand, so 4,000. 5 in the hundreds, 500. Okay, and then the tens, it's 40 because there's 4, and then a 3. Last one is 5,000, 346. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at place value and how it compares to the other parts. So first of all, we're going to look from the ones to the left-hand side. So if we go from 1 to tens, okay, essentially we are multiplying by 10, or the tens is 10 times greater than the ones. Okay, so from here to here, you go up by another 10. You go up from here to here, you go up by another 10. So that would be like saying to jump from the ones to the hundreds, okay, you're jumping 100 because 10 times 10 is 100. If you're going from the tens to the thousands, you do times 10, which is also 100. If you go from the ones to the thousands, you're doing 10 times 10 times 10. Or you're just writing that 1 and counting up the number of zeros. So from the ones to the thousands, you're multiplying it by 1,000. So 1,000 is 1,000 times greater than a 1. Okay, so now we're going to do the opposite, but let's fill in this table first, just like we did up top. So we have a 4, so that's 4,000, 615, so 10 and 5, 3,000, 465, 5 in the ones, 6 in the tens, 4 in the hundreds, 3 in the thousands, 2,000, because there's a 2 in the thousands place, there's a 3 in the hundreds, so it's 300, 4 in the tens, so it's 40, 5 in the ones. Okay, 1 in the thousands, so it's 1,000, 5 in the hundreds, so it's 500, 3 in the tens, so it's 30, 4 in the ones, so it's 4. So now we're going to look at from thousands to ones. So if we go from 1,000 to 100, we're going down. We're getting smaller. So think about if you go smaller, you're dividing. If you get bigger, you're multiplying. So thousands to 100, we know that's smaller. So we're going to be dividing by 10. Hundreds to tens, it divides by tens. Tens to ones, it divides by 10. Or it goes down a tenth. Okay? It goes down a tenth, and it goes up a tenth. By 10, sorry. So, if you go from thousands to hundreds, you're dividing by 10. If you go from thousands to tens, you divide by 10 and divide by 10 again, so you're really dividing by 100. Okay, just add on those zeros. Thousands to ones, you're dividing by 1,000. If you go over 2, it's 100. Okay, so when you multiply, you get higher. It's 10 times more, or 100 times more, or 1,000 times more. Okay, so let's look at, so use this, let's look at 1.6. And remember, when we're doing these videos, you can go back, you can pause as much as you need to fill it in, or to rewatch a concept if you need it. So let's look at 1.6 to kind of solidify this. Okay, what is the number shown on the abacus? So it's 100, we know it's 100. Okay, the value is 10 times more if you move the rod or the little bead to the left. The value is 10 times less if you move the little bead to the right. Okay, so what does this chart show? 1,000 is 10 times more than 100, or 100 times more than 10. What else do you notice? Okay, so before we were just going from ones to 1,000s. So if we went from ones to 100,000s, that would be 1 and how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 100,000 times from ones to thousands. Now it would be the exact opposite if you went from 100,000s to ones. Okay, so you're getting 10 times more, you're going to the left, 10 times left, you're going to the right. Sorry, 10 times less, you're going to the right. So let's look at number 1, and then I will let you do these on your own after I explain the directions. So color the circle besides the statement that is true, draw beads on the abacus to show your thinking. Okay, just because one of them is correct doesn't mean the other ones won't be. Color any of them that are correct. So 1,000, so that would be right here, is 100 times more than 10. So to get from here to here, okay, so 1, 2, that is times 10 and times 10, which is 100. So that is correct. Let's look at the other ones. 100 is 10 times more than 1. So 100, and then 1. You have to do 2 jumps, so that's 100 times, so that's incorrect. 10,000 is 10 times more than 100. So I'm going to do that one up here. Find the hundreds. 10, and then another 10, so that would be 100 times, so that's incorrect as well. And 1,000 is 10 times more than 10. I'm going to let you do that one on your own. Okay, and read these directions. You're just adding more mileage to the odometers. Remember yesterday we talked about odometers are just track the mileage in a car. Okay, so you're adding on 1 more mile to each one of these, 10 onto each one of these, 10,000 onto these, and 1,000 onto each one of those. Look at the odometer. If the vehicle travels 12 miles, what will the odometer show? So 12 more miles, what would be the answer? What is the greatest number that the odometer can show? If we filled up all these with digits, what is the greatest number we could make? And think about this, and then we added 1 more. What would this look like? What would those digits look like? Okay, remember you can go back and pause and go back to the video as many times as you need.